he's got the role in the new Mission Impossible. Is that what you said, Jeff? He was also in... just a guy that I used to... No, DC Douglas from Resident Evil. Any video game fans out there. And then we have Ellyn Stern. And I have to say, I don't know the video games you've been... I know Ellyn and Richard and Kyle from anime. So,
he's been preparing for 3 weeks.
Do you know the video games I've done?
Who knows the video games you've done?
Oh, fuck.
Where's the swear jar?
Blue Dragon. Right, what else? Star Ocean 1 and 2. Galarian, Shadow Hearts.
Tickle My Balls, Elmo.
I did do that one.
Available for Christmas. Get your orders in now.
Read my bio.
Read? I'm an anime fan. I don't read. If I read, I was at...
He doesn't have time to read. He's too busy buying ears.
That's true. And next on our panel is Richard Epcar, who I know of at least one good role that he does. It's well, several good roles. But no, I was going to say
You read between the lines?
Joker in Batman Arkham Asylum.
No, that's not
No?
right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're really screwing this up, aren't you? Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, I was the Joker and Raiden also. You might remember me as Ansem in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, you might remember him as the Big Putz at the beginning of this panel.
11 years and still going. And then, of course, we've got the voice of the announcer from Dragon Ball Z. Kyle, could you say the line? Could you say the line?
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
And Kyle, why don't you take a moment and tell the folks some of the video games that you've worked on?
Video games.
Video
let's
games.
see. There's this little obscure game that you button mash and it never works. Street Fighter. I'm Ryu in that. I'm in Star Ocean, which Richard and Ellyn were on, as Diaz. Let's see, Richter in Tales of Symphonia. I'm on the Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z games, stuff.
Right.
Lots of stuff.
Now you're just bragging.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll start off with a couple of questions, then we'll open up to the to the house in case anybody out there has questions.
Will they be better than our introduction?
I make no promises for you. Well, first off, I guess the question that everybody wants to know and everyone always asks is, how did you get involved in voice acting for video games? And DC, would you like to start with DC or with Kyle? Or? That's the standard opening question.
Am I on? I'm on. You did. It's very turned on. So video games. I think the first one would be, I actually don't know where the audition came through, but it was like in 1999, and somebody wanted me to voice match, I can't remember the actor's name, who played the master on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because they were doing a video game of it. And so I went into this place in Century City to auditioned, got it, went back the next day, and recorded it, and then that was the last that I heard of it, and then the next video game was like 5 years later, so or 4 years later or something. So that was the first one. I didn't realize that it was. And then when I saw it, I actually saw a clip of it on YouTube just a couple years ago, and I was like, wow, people really enjoyed that? Because it looks really crappy. I mean, that's only because everything's, it's so sophisticated now.
Way to sell it, buddy.
No, it's from 2000. I mean, it's like, if you go back and you look at it now, just like if you look at any of those games in the 90s, and you just think what they can do now as compared to then. But when you're living it and going through the evolutions, it's always state-of-the-art to you. And for me, my first time seeing it was after I had already seen what they had done with Mass Effect and all these other things, and so it was kind of entertaining. And it's also a little odd because the voice is a little similar to Wesker in Resident Evil. So that was my first time.
My first time, well, Richard and I were alone. Oh no, I'm sorry. I got thrown off. Well, I had been doing anime for like a zillion years, older than me, and let me see. Then we started doing video. I don't even remember our first I don't remember the first video game.
Was it Shadow Hearts?
Was it Shadow Hearts? No, it was years before. Was it Jade Cocoon?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I directed Jade Cocoon. Do any of you know that?
Yeah.
I love that one. Oh my God, the story in that is so profound. I remember, I did some characters in it, but I also directed it, and I remember crying because it was so moving. And then after Jade Cocoon, then I did Galarians, and you remember Galarians?
Yeah.
And then I did Neo, honey, what were those things called? Neo.
Nazis? I don't know.
Oh God, this is terrible.
Neo, and she's got it. What is it? Galarians. Wow. How about
Neo,
that?
what is it?
Neo.
Somebody start to say it.
Neoprene? I don't know.
Neon Genesis.
Galarian.
Geez, I did a bunch of
Ask you
them.
what your first one was. They didn't ask for it.
No, but it all came in a group, and I think that was the beginning. Maybe. I may be totally wrong. I generally am. Honey, your turn. Tell about the first time.
I'm trying to remember the first one. I think,
We were alone.
I did a ton of anime and directed a lot of stuff, and I think the first games that I did were actually offshoots of those shows like Ghost in the Shell and Lupin the Third, and we did a lot of those games as we were doing the series. But I think, I'm trying to remember when I first started working on, God, I don't remember. I remember the first big game I directed was Shadow Hearts. But,
I was in that.
But yeah, I guess we did start when we started doing those other things, the Jade Cocoon and Galarians and all those. That's when you had to crank the machine while you were playing. It was so long ago, you had to sit there and hand crank it. Back in the old days. But yeah, I don't remember the very first game I was on. Now I'm on like hundreds of them, so it's kind of fun. The last, one of the most recent ones is Skyrim. You guys familiar with Skyrim? So I'm in that. I'm actually one of the guys that says I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow. Yeah, I was one of the guys. So that was fun. And Spec Ops, which just came out, the line, I'm in that. It's just a bazillion of them.
Which one did you play in Spec Ops?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I think I'm the, there's an interrogator in there, right? I think I played the interrogator in that one, and I don't know, I have my notes somewhere, but so many. I've done like 300-400 different characters, so it's hard to remember all of them. I have a list of them I can look at, but...
What did you have for breakfast yesterday?
Who the hell knows?
Pancakes. Oh wait, that was...
Who are you again? Oh.
I gotta say, my favorite Skyrim meme is like, I used to be a knight till I took a shrubbery to the knee. I love that people still know Monty Python. This is good. Okay, so my first game was Blood Rain 2. And that was done with basically the Funimation
A lot of
cast.
fans here of that game, apparently.
Yeah.
Blood Rain 2.
Blood Rain 2, Electric Boogaloo. Laura Bailey is the titled character. Me as your generic bad guys. One who sounded a lot like Dr. Claw, like, oh, sweet meat. So yeah, that was basically that happened, and then the DBZ games, of course, spun off of the show, and once I moved to LA about 7 years ago, I guess things spiraled once, it's a domino effect. You start working with people, they remember your name, and then they call you in for more things, and that's how I got on Star Ocean, is I guess my name got passed around, and I got to audition for them. And
We heard of you.
Tell them what I used to do to you in the booth in Star Ocean.
Star Ocean in particular. It seemed like every line of dialogue was ripe with opportunity to make some sort of song reference. So he would have his laptop ready to go, have iTunes ready to go, and we're ready to record. Then he starts playing the little sample. You can sample each song on iTunes, and so
Every line was like a song title, so I'm surprised you didn't walk out of there babbling and drooling by the end of the day.
like, what's his first line? Okay, let's see. It's only just begun. I've only just begun. How are you doing this? How are we ever going to survive this session?
We had fun, damn it. So much fun. Shenanigans.
All right, ready for another question?
Sure.
All right, this is another question that I've heard get asked a lot. Of all the many characters that you voiced with specific regards to video games, which one do you identify most with, are you most like, or stands out in your memory most?
Let's start at that.
Starting with Kyle.
Crap. I'm going to give the cop-out answer, which is I love to do anything because I'm a whore.
You got that on video, right?
I've heard that about you. Yes. Oh, we're talking about video games. Oh. Yeah.
Video games, not videos.
Not video games. Yeah, no, seriously. Any chance to hop in the booth and I don't care what it is. If I'm Man A or Soldier B or Monster C, you know, I'm getting to play in the booth and get paid something for
Sesame
it.
Street games or something?
Yes, ABC 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So I mean, stuff through the years. I don't know. Tough to pick a game character per se. I mean, Ryu. I get a huge rush out of being attached to a popular franchise like that. So I guess Ryu.
Okay.
Richard, secure and confident in your
Ryu.
choice. Ryu? That's a really tough question because I'm really fortunate I get to play a lot of different characters, but you know, obviously, you know, Bato is one of my favorite characters. He's done some games, thank you. Raiden in Mortal Kombat, one of my favorite characters. The Joker, playing the Joker was awesome. And being, you know, doing this this last Transformer game, I played Skywarp on that, so that was really cool to be part of that again, and because I was in Robots in Disguise before, so it's a tough one. I don't know. I have to. Who was the great actor who they ask?
Please transfer. Oh, right.
No,
Sorry.
I said great actor, not acting coach. God, who was it? No, God, Alzheimer's is a terrible thing. No, they asked him, what's your favorite part? And he said, the next. And I kind of feel the same way, because it's, you know, you look forward to the next job, you want to do the next thing, and you're excited about the next thing. But I'll think of who the hell that is later on.
Well, I have to cop that line because basically I do have Alzheimer's. I mean, I remember the qualities of the character, but I don't always remember the voice I've done until I hear a sample. As a matter of fact, when I started out doing it, I was hired to do when I started doing voice work, I was hired to do a film. And I went into the booth and the guy said, I said, well, which voice do you want? And he goes, you know, the beautiful voice. and really innocently, I said, well, which beautiful voice? And he could not begin to describe to me what I had done. So I started something in our industry which is called sampling, where you take a sample of your audition, because I had done this audition 6 months before, and I didn't remember what I had done. I mean, when you do a silly voice or you do something, do you always remember? And if you're doing a lot of work, which we were doing for many, many years, you know, every week we were doing different voices.